All of us are vulnerable to love bombing. I don't buy anyone saying, well, I'd be able to see that from a mile away. Love bombing kind of feels like being in a relationship with sexy AI. They shape their love bombing to what works for us. So let's talk about a type of love bombing that you may not even know about, and they can dupe in anyone, no matter how much you know about narcissism. So I recently did a video where I talked about different kinds of love bombing and listed different types, including the grandiose fairy tale love bombing, the I see you love bombing, the I need you love bomb, the obsessive love bomb, the controlling love bomb, the grown-up love bomb, the offset love bomb. Go check out the video if you want to learn more about all of those kinds of subtypes. But then there's a love bomb maneuver that could happen with any of these approaches to love bombing, and it may be one of the most lethal of all. We know that triangulation is a classical part of any narcissistic person's repertoire. Narcissistic parents triangulate siblings against each other, or kids against a parent. In the workplace, a narcissistic boss will thrive when they play favorites and people keep secrets and gossip. In friend groups where there's a narcissistic person, it will be high school all over again, with gossip and people being excluded, with a queen bee narcissist pulling the strings but playing completely innocent. And then there are the narcissistic intimate romantic relationships, where this triangulation stuff creeps in all kinds of awful ways. Narcissistic partners are often jealous of their partners and may carp on the smallest thing. For example, a person giving you a compliment. They may demand that a partner remove all ex-partners or attractive followers on social media, but they would never dream of doing that themselves. It ties into the narcissistic person's sense of insecurity and the chronic sense that the world is out to get them. However, narcissistic partners do enjoy when their partners are jealous of them, and the power that comes with the perception that multiple people are vying for their affection. Talk about supply. Though the narcissistic person will also be irritated if their partner overreaches with their jealousies, and they have to defend their behavior. Narcissistic folks will also use triangulation as a tool to keep you locked in, because it is human nature. If someone wants what we want, we often want it more. It's why auction prices go way up for ridiculous things. It's why people buy stupid stuff on sale because they think it's running out. It's why we fight over the last of anything. The scarcity, or the perceived scarcity, and the sense of winning, those are tough elements of human nature to push back on. Narcissistic partners may play at this triangulated jealousy game by dropping hints on how someone was complimenting them, that their ex-wife keeps reaching out to them, that their ex isn't over them yet. Or they may compare you to their ex favorably. Things like, oh, you're so much easier than my ex. He always wanted to show up to the airport so early. Or it might be unfavorably. My ex was able to keep her figure after she had the kids. I mean, you seem to be having a hard time. It just creates another space where you are on your back foot. And social media has given them a cannon for triangulation. They are dropping fire emojis where they should not be, and hearts and likes and following folks you don't know. And you get vague answers when you ask about it. Social media is the narcissistic person's playground when it comes to getting more supply and sowing the seeds of jealousy. So let's talk about how all of this relates to a lethal form of love bombing, and that is the being chosen over the other person form of love bombing. For narcissistic folks, dating is a numbers game. They rarely come out of one relationship with their new supply kind of locked in, or at least pretty close. Or they already have the plans in place to get the new supply, which is why they seem to enter a new relationship almost immediately after you break up. And in the early days in a new relationship, the love bomb era, odds are that they may have multiple fish on the line, or are still in touch with an ex, or claim that they're in the process of ending a relationship. And you may even say, hey, I don't want to be the other person. And they may even praise your integrity and say, you know what, let's just hang out. I'm trying to figure out my life. And because you may be attracted to them and enjoy talking with them, there's that charm and charisma, they will ultra love bomb, and you may develop feelings for them. And they are claiming to be trying to get out of that relationship and sharing the problems in it with you, and how much they love you better it would be if they were with you and you were showing them what love in a relationship can be. But they also paint this picture of their current fading partner as messy or needy or going through a tough time, and they don't want to leave that person in such a bad time because they're such a saint. And you may even think that that they are being so nice to their lame partner. And after all, you're just friends. But they have created one hell of a triangle because even though intellectually you may not fall for it, these triangles are an ancient, almost Oedipal kind of setup. Will I win? Will I be the one who is chosen? If you grew up in a triangulated system, or even in a system where you were never seen or valued or frankly chosen, this idea of being in a position where it is you being sort of cast against another person, it can feel primally familiar. And you may find yourself ruminating, daydreaming, and especially if you're playing it in a way that feels smart. You aren't in a relationship with them, but texting, talking, that kind of thing. And that can set up the version where you may wonder what awaits when they end that other relationship. And when you get there, that's when they got you. So now you're holding out for something in the future. It's sort of an initiation and love bomb by future faking. Now you're invested. And even as the red flags come up, you will ignore them because the actual relationship part hasn't even happened yet. And you are the one who is better. And you're the one
who's being chosen. And remember, they're still largely in the charm, charisma part, or they're selling you a plausible story about how awful this other relationship that they're trying to get out of is, and how much better and more supportive you are than that other person. And this can be a particularly terrible dynamic if you have been in dating hell for a while, and you are actually attracted to this new person, and you see potential. So the combination of the triangulation, the waiting, the anticipation, the love bombing before the actual relationship even begins. Listen, it may not be fancy dinners, but it may be that they say, hey, you just want to hang with a pizza? And then they compliment you on being so chill and so cool and just being in sweatpants at home. You don't need a fancy dinner. And unlike their high-demand relationship where they couldn't just have pizza and sweats, honestly, all of this can be more seductive than a glamorous, exciting night out. This idea of being chosen and being put in one of those being pitted against someone else situations, even if you aren't in an actual relationship with them or dating them, is a place that many people have told me that their narcissistic relationship began. It kind of felt lower risk. We were just friends. We were just texting. We were just talking. We both loved the Lakers. We ran into each other at the dog park. We both have laps. It wasn't romantic. So, like narcissistic people are so often good at doing, they kind of fly under the
radar. Maybe you aren't doing anything wrong. There's nothing wrong with seeing someone at a dog park, texting about the game that's coming on TV tonight, or that funny lady you see at the dog park. But something in you is shifting. You're looking forward to seeing them. And that head of steam that builds up can cloud your capacity to see the other stuff that's happening. The future faking, the gaslighting, the invalidation. Listen, what I'm laying out is the trope and the storyline of many a rom-com. But the rom-coms are at a market advantage. They always tell the story that the person who's playing both sides is in a relationship with a patently terrible person. So you're rooting for the chill new person. That's you. But ultimately, what makes the whole thing so seductive is the being chosen over someone else. And in real life, who knows if the narcissistic person is telling you truth, the truth about the potentially soon, allegedly soon to be ex. Generally, the answer is no, they're not. They may be selling a narrative and using this triangulated structure to build up the pressure in you. So when they're ready to close the deal with you, they have you exactly where they want you.